What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me today again for my daily sports picks video here with JVille Sports. As you can see, I am still on the road, but I still want to get my picks out there like I do every single day. Sorry for the late video. I know games are about to kick off in a few hours, but sometimes it's actually good. I mean, as you saw yesterday, I had a somewhat early video. And then Kyrie Irving ended up being a late scratch, and the Celtics actually got blown out by the lowly Chicago Bulls. So as far as NBA goes, sometimes it's good to wait till around shoot-around time so you can see who's actually in and who's out, because if you have a lot of money on a game and a star player gets ruled out, I mean, you're screwed. You can't take your bet back, or usually you can't put money on the other team because the line's already moved. So anyways, late video today. Let's get to it. So after a perfect day in the NBA, 6-0, we had another 6 games yesterday, and we only went 2-4. A lot of bad games. As I already mentioned, the Celtics was one of them. Who else was a big loser yesterday? The Oklahoma City Jekyll and Hyde team. You never know what team is going to show up. They lose at home to the Hornets. The Raptors, they were in a tough spot. That was a third game in 4 nights. So that was a tough spot for them, but they should have been able to pull that one off against the Clippers. I did not see them losing that game, because the night before, they did play the night before, but it was an early game, and then the next day, yesterday, was a night game. So even though it was a back-to-back, they had a lot of time in between games, so they still should have taken care of business. And they got off to a good start, too. They just couldn't hold on towards the end of the game. So those were our picks yesterday. Not a good day, so we're definitely looking to bounce back. As far as the bets go, even though I did have the Celtics, it did not matter that Kyrie Irving didn't play, because the big loss of the day was the New England Patriots. If anybody watched that game, that is not the New England Patriots we are accustomed to seeing. I don't know how you lose to the Dolphins and Cutler on Monday night. I don't want to say it was an embarrassing loss, but it was not a pretty performance. Not what you see from the Patriots normally. I mean, especially the Dolphins aren't really playing for it. They're not mathematically out of the playoffs, but they're not making it either. So it was obvious the Patriots were looking ahead to this week against the Steelers because they were not ready for Miami. So not what you expect from a Bill Belichick coach team, but that's what we got. So big upset there. So it wouldn't have mattered what we did in college or the NBA as far as parlays go, because very hard to stay away from that Patriots money line. So anyway, we'll bounce back today. I'm actually feeling really confident today. A lot of good games out there in both the NBA and college. But let's go through the NBA schedule really quick here. Not too many games. We have the Sixers at the T-Wolves. Kind of a low spread, only 5 points, because these teams are pretty evenly matched. One thing to look out for, though, Joel Embiid is listed as questionable at this time, so I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. If he doesn't play, I definitely like the T-Wolves to take care of business. Otherwise, it's going to be a very good matchup between Towns and Embiid, 2 of the best young bigs in the game right now. I'm going to go with the T-Wolves, though, to win this game at home, especially if Embiid does not play. You have Atlanta at the Cavaliers. Another questionable star. Kevin Love is questionable. But it does look like Tristan Thompson, after a few weeks, or more like a month he's been out, he comes back for Cleveland, so that should help out their rotation. Hopefully Love does play. Cavaliers are favored by a lot. They are definitely not going to lose this game at home, or I won't say that, because there's just a ridiculous amount of upsets right now in all sports. I'll say the Cavs should not lose this game to a bad Atlanta team. Next, we have the Lakers at the Knicks. This should be a very competitive game. Lakers are 2-0 on their current road trip, beating the Sixers, and then beating... Who did they play after that? I'm not sure who they played after that, but I know they're 2-0. Actually, I think they beat Charlotte the other day. Knicks, very good home team. I look for this game to be pretty high scoring. The over is around 212. I like this game to go over, and I like the Knicks to win this game. Should be a close one though, but I like the Knicks to squeak it out. Looking for a big game by Porzingis. We have Denver at the Pistons. Pistons are reeling right now. They have lost 6 in a row. So I know a lot of people are going to be on the Denver spread, but not me. I actually like the Pistons to cover 7, even though I'm making all my picks, money line picks. I do like Denver or Detroit to cover the 7. They're just due for a bounce back game. If you look at their 6 straight losses, they're pretty much all against playoff teams. It's no excuse. You do have to win some of those games. They're not playing great basketball right now, but they did lose to a bunch of good teams. So I look for the Pistons to bounce back against a Denver team with injuries. And like I said, Detroit's due for a big game. I look for one tonight. Next, we have the Wizards at the Nets. The Nets made a trade not too long ago, getting JVille added to their lineup. It looks like he's going to play today. The Wizards without John Wall. But they are playing very well behind Bradley Beal. And they really do have a pretty good lineup up and down their roster. So even without John Wall, they're still a good team and better than Brooklyn. So I look for the Wizards to win this game on the road. 2 more games. We have the Spurs and the Mavericks. Spurs get a huge boost today as Kawhi Leonard makes his return. A long awaited return. I've been waiting for him to come back. I'm not a huge Spurs fan. Actually, I hate the Spurs, but Kawhi Leonard, you gotta love his game. Great player. It's good to see him back. I think the Spurs roll over the Mavericks. -6 is the spread in that one. I look for them to cover that spread. And last game of the day, the Phoenix Suns at the Sacramento Kings. Probably the one game that you definitely do not want to watch. No Devin Booker for the Suns, so they are not playing pretty basketball right now. Sacramento is a bad team. Not a whole lot of talent there. Both teams very young, though. I actually look for the Suns to upset the Kings here on the road. I don't know why. They've lost a couple games in a row now. Haven't won since Booker has been out of the lineup. I just look for them to be a little bit more focused today, play some good defense, and look for someone to step up like TJ Warren or Chris or Dragan Bender. One of those young Suns needs to step up here on the road. So I like the Suns to upset the Kings at home. And those are our picks for today. Let me throw a couple bets out there. A couple parlays. I'll do a big one here, or not a big one, but a more risky one. I'm going to take the Cavaliers on the money line, the Pistons on the money line, the Spurs to cover 6, Rutgers in college basketball to win, Wyoming to win, South Dakota State to win, BC to win, and then Michigan to cover 5.5 against Texas, missing their best player. So 50 there. We're actually pay 440. And then just taking out the lines and the risky games, I'm going to do a 5-team for sure parlay bet with the Cavs, Rutgers, Wyoming, South Dakota State, and BC. Pays a little less than even money. 200 to win 189. I really like that 5-team parlay. I think it's going to come through. Like I said, a little less than even money is always what you want, or close to even money. So those are our picks for today. I should be back home pretty soon, and I'll have, my more usual videos with graphics and all that. But thank you for joining me today, and we will see you tomorrow.